There was nothing but white all around me. Then finally colors appeared, as I seemingly stepped out of thin air just below a horrendously disfigured individual, strung up by the arms. It was a woman, murdered in some distant past. She still bore beautiful long blonde hair even in death, but her corporeal remains were also fractured and impaled by a reddish spear. She had been forced into a posture reminiscent of the statues found in the crumbling churches. Oh God, what now? Whatever had held her corpse suddenly disintegrated, and she fell. But what followed wasn't a lifeless shell. Instead, a strong and fiery arm grabbed a hammer, and the woman I had thought to be dead slowly rose to her feet. What the? Her hair changed color. Wait, she was a man now? I was so confused. Wait a moment. I had seen that fellow before. Then the redhead, sharing the sadly deteriorated physical state of the blonde corpse, was all over me. Even more curious was the surprising amount of force, his fractured condition considered. But despite his fierce attempts to hold me back, I was burning with a fire of vengeance. Compared to the ungodly trials suffered in the Haligtree, this crumpling man of decomposition was no match for me. At that point, I realized that something else was behind this broken vessel. And sure enough, beneath the fractured redhead, an immense and otherworldly arm with veins glowing gold slowly rose. With a beastly hand, it grabbed the corpse and pushed it down unto hidden depths. In those dark waters of change, the creature transformed the fragmented flesh of the broken shell into a sacred and mighty sword. Gods, was that his ribs? Thus the gruesome riddle behind it all revealed itself. That thing beneath the surface of the rot-infested waters of reality had arrived. As a soft and translucent mountain of power, it towered above me, wordlessly shouting some cosmic war cry. This was it, after what felt like a lifetime of searching. I had now come upon the behemoth itself, the parasitic abomination responsible for it all. In the ensuing battle, I all but forgot myself and drowned in a sea of frenzied aggression. The beast tried to burn me, then did its best to squash me under its immense weight. And finally, sensing that its time was nigh, it fled to a safe distance and sent golden projectiles up into the air. What the? God, that was annoying. And as if that wasn't enough, it performed a strangely beautiful dance in the starlit sky above me. But just like devious beasts in the animal kingdom lay traps for lesser creatures, the obese dancer was capturing my attention so it could cut me with waves of gold. It kept at it, increased its vile ranged attacks with even more exhausting manifestations, but to no avail, because it was about to meet its fate. As I shouted Alexander's name, with the otherworldly beast gone, I was returned to the vast and timeless space within the Erdtree. There was only me and a broken shell. But even this deep inside of that monumental organism, currently being consumed by flames, I somehow knew that I only had to think of my blue-skinned mistress in order to make the marriage a reality. I had come to the end of my journey, and she was waiting. But my heart had grown cold, and it became clear to me that her path was different from mine. Instead, I felt the flames of vengeance scorch my soul and began to hear the voices of dear friends, both long and recently deceased. This sickly world had been corrupted to its very core, and the untold cries of innocent victims plagued me now more than ever. There she was, poor, blind and innocent Irina, killed by bandits and left to rot by the side of the road. And her proud father, maddened by grief, lost himself in the abyss of despair. And what about gentle and kind-hearted Thops? The fragile soul had sought nothing but wisdom and knowledge, only to be assassinated by his so-called peers. And poor Millicent, who, even when liberated from the torment of rot, chose to dissolve into nothingness. And there was warm Boggart, that crude criminal, who, miraculously sweetened by the darkness of time spent in prison,
You've got a real thing here, eh?
was thrown into a pit of hellish torture before dying. But worst of all was sweet Alexander, that brave and ever so generous soul,
My thanks.
who was meant to be my right hand in the empire of kindness I had begun to envision. All those gentle creatures lost in time, like tears in rain, gone in the eternity of eternities. This nightmare had to stop. The infernal hell that was the lands between needed to be cleansed, just like the Erd Tree. It was within my power. I knew what had to be done, because as I stood naked in front of the door beneath the Capitol, none other than Alexander had come to me. Down there in the darkness, inches from the frenzied flame, which promised sweet annihilation, my friend reminded me that mortality was nothing to dread,
All vessels are destined to one day break.
and made me realize that I had to come to terms with the loss inherent in existence.
One cannot cleave to the past.
But that didn't mean I was forbidden to honor the fallen ones, nor that it would lead to nihilistic agony. The victims of this world would be avenged, with order, kindness, and a library of memories that would last eons.
The fallen leaves tell a story
A story about suffering,
of how a Tarnished became Elden Lord
and accepting the pain.
in our home, across the fog, the lands between.
That silent and enigmatic space within.
Our seed will look back upon us and recall an age of fracture.
A blessed fracturing of despair. What is this? Is this a joke?